But we are only talking about regulators now. What about the companies which are now facing the challenge of actually preparing XBRL statements? What about them? Are they really going to benefit using this? What we feel is that truly, if you truly want to exploit the benefits of this XBRL as a concept and as a language, then it has to be ingrained into the organization in which it captures data, it collects data, and it disseminates data. And the same factors which enable the regulator to derive benefits from XBRL, you can have exactly the similar kind of benefits accruing to an organization if they are adopting XBRL. The key thing here is that from an external reporting perspective, you have a better way to do it in an automatic way. From an internal reporting perspective, you have better transparency and ability to capture that information and then report it internally. So we are talking about both external and internal reporting using XBRL as a standard. One important thing which I would just like to mention here is the automation bit. Now, what do we mean by automation? There are many organizations who would have implemented very sophisticated ERP systems, for example. But then, common experience, and there have been many instances where that one final report which has to go out in a balance sheet format or in any other format, that is sometimes getting prepared in an Excel or a manual way. So, you have spent a lot of time and a lot of money in building something very, very sophisticated, but at the end of the day, when the need of the hour is to produce a report, somebody is taking a dump of that data in a laptop and then massaging that data and then preparing something different. That's the last mile automation, which is sometimes a very big challenge for many organizations. And I'm not saying XBRL is going to solve all problems, but it is one of the ways by which you can hope to achieve that last mile automation, which sometimes can be very time consuming, very frustrating, and also takes up a lot of top management time. So we talked about the benefits, but what about the current scenario? Right now we have got this mandate from Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So what does it mean for us? How are we going to address this specific stipulation that we have to now comply with the XBRL template in terms of XBRL format, in terms of filing our financial statements? So there are a few options which are available in front of us. The first option is about managed services or outsourcing, which effectively means that you take the help of an external person, take the help of his expertise, you give the data to them, and they will be able to convert that data in an XBRL format and give it back to you, right? What is the advantage of that? Of course, the advantage is that you will not have to invest a lot of time and money and effort in terms of either buying a tool or in terms of training up your own internal people to know how to do it. But the disadvantage could be that you are not just being dependent on somebody else, but also you have an annual recurring cost in terms of hiring somebody externally to do it again and again. Given the fact that you may not have a lot of time, this could be the only possible option in the short term, but the medium to long term approach needs to be something different. So what are those medium to long term options we have got? The first is the second option is what we call as the bolt-on approach. Now what does that mean? It effectively means that whatever systems you have in place, you just leave it as it is. You bolt something on top of it which takes the data and makes it compliant in an XBRL format. So you are taking an easy route out. You are not just giving out the data and getting the services from somebody else. You are ingraining it in your own environment, but at the same time you are not changing the way you are capturing the data. The only thing you are changing is you are changing the way the data is getting represented in the XBRL format. Now, of course, it means that your installation is lightweight and you would not have a lot of training needs. But of course, it is not really helping the true philosophy or true spirit. We have one of the sessions in the earlier mornings when we talked about the spirit of the law. It's not really helping you the true spirit in which XBRL needs to be adopted in an organization, because all you are now doing is you are just dressing up the end state using the XBRL template, and hence you are really truly not exploiting the full benefits of an XBRL template, but still gives you a go ahead in the medium term. So what's the final nirvana solution? That is where you are using a built-in software, which effectively means that you would be you would be ingraining the concept and philosophy of XBRL by the way in which you capture data, maybe using XBRL GL framework, General Ledger framework, or by configuring your financial applications in such a way that every transaction you are capturing is captured in the ambit of the taxonomy which is defined, and there you would be able to report as just a natural byproduct any XBRL information to either internal users or to an external users, and that's the state where you truly are exploiting the benefits of this entire framework. Of course, it does take more time and cost, but it also truly leverages and exploits the potential of this particular application. So we saw about the three options: short, medium, and long term. Now what we and of course at least in the short term, the managed service is a good option because there is a simple process. You can meet the timelines quickly and your initial upfront investment is lower. So what exactly are the different steps in terms of using this approach? Of course, the first step is that you will take the financial statements in an Excel PDF format, and this is the outsourcing or the standard way in which you would want to do it yourself. So you would take the data in any format. It could be in Excel, it could be PDF, it could be any other format. And then what you have to then do is, as a second step, you have to map the data to the taxonomy which has already been published by MCA. So data from financial statements are tagged, which effectively mean that a particular item in the taxonomy is mapped to the line in your existing financial statement, and this mapping is something which is like a one-time exercise which you have to do in order to produce this. And then the next step would be ensuring that your tag data is validated by the tool, which effectively means that you would be carrying out those validation checks and business rules which you talked about to ensure that you have got complete consistency and quality of information in the format. And finally, you would be generating what we call as an instance document, which effectively is the data in an XBRL format which goes out, and this is the machine readable format which has got the information about your financials, and it also has got the information about the context or the dimensions which need to be captured along with the data.